Hey everybody, welcome back to the Santita Jackson Show. Here we seek not to conform to the world, we seek to overcome the world and transform it one conversation at a time. It's been a long time since I've been with you and I'm so glad to be back. I've been in Africa for a bit and I can't wait in future shows to share some of my trip with you. It has been a fascinating journey back to the motherland, but more about that on another show. Today we're going to talk about Father's Day. Yes, Father's Day is tomorrow. How will you celebrate it? Will you celebrate it? It seems like there's a lot of ambivalence about Father's Day, so let's get right to it. And I was struck by this particular topic. Father's Day cards for mothers. Father's Day cards for single moms. Can moms be fathers to their children? What do you think about that? This panel has got a lot to say about this, I know. Joseph Farley, Friends of Fathers. I wonder what you have to say. Bishop Allison Abrams, my fellow Howardite. I cannot wait to hear what you have to say. Dr. Sharon Miller, OBGYN and mother of 3. In fact, you're mother of 3 children.
Yes.
Your child just came out of high school, right?
Yes, my last
Congratulations. No one would ever know, girl. Cha-cha. And then Brandon Mays, 25-year-old. I can't wait to talk with you because 25-year-old, you have a 7-year-old, and you have custody of your son. And he has had an arduous journey. And I cannot wait to talk with you about that. So perhaps I should start with you, since you've got sole custody of your son. Do you think that single moms, or do you think that mothers should get Father's Day cards? Because, this is the background on this. 1 out of 3 American children are growing up without a father in their home. Not a father in their lives, just a father in the home. 2 out of 3 African American children are growing up in a home without their fathers. But ironically enough, Father's Day is a holiday that was honoring a single father.
It was, yes, it was.
You know, this gentleman was a World War I veteran, and his daughter said, you know, Dad was a widower who raised the 6 of us alone.
Right.
Let's honor him. We honor mothers. Let's honor our father.
Sure.
Yes.
So what do you think? Do you think single moms, do you think mothers should get Father's Day cards as well?
I feel kind of on the fence about it. Honestly, I was one of the 3, that grew up without not having my father in the house. But me being a single father and raising my son, I honestly feel like, a mother can't be a father and a father can't be a mother. Sometimes you can kind of play the role and do the best that you can, but you can be the best father that you can be, or you can be the best mother that you can be.
What do you say? I mean, you say it, he says it with such power. Why do you say that a mother cannot be a father? Because it's interesting that Hallmark, their mahogany imprint, and I'm not calling them out because I love Hallmark, I love the channel, I love them, I think they are fabulous. But I disagreed with their aiming this campaign at the African American community. And so before we get to the ladies, but before we get to you, Mr. Farley, Friends of Fathers, I want to hear from you. I mean, why are you so adamant about that?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, you say that you put mothers and fathers in separate lanes.
Because I feel so adamant about that, because you can be the best mother that you can be, or you can be the best father that you can be, but there's only certain things that a man can teach his son and teach him how to be a man and grow him and nurture him, and then the same thing for a mother. And I believe that a lot of the times they bring 2 separate different things in, and unfortunately, we do have a lot of broken homes and single family homes and different things like that, but where one parent may have to play both roles or be there in that type of capacity. But I honestly think, that you can't have a mother that is acting as the father too. A mother can be the best mom, and a father can be the best father that he can be if the other parent is absent.
I agree with that, but I'm sure some people might disagree with me on the panel. She's jumping in before you.
Yes, I'm going to jump in before Mr. Farley here.
Mr. Father, ouch.
But I want to say that as a single mother who has raised 3 children who will all be in college, my youngest daughter is accepted to Howard University.
Awesome.
So,
wait a minute. Shout out to Howard.
Shout out to HU. Okay. I think, it is different lanes that you are in. However, as a single mother, I will say one who was very athletic. I taught my son how to play football initially. I taught my son how to play basketball. I used to barber his hair. I had to learn how to be a barber, and I actually learned that from my ex-husband. And so I would cut his hair a lot and then showed him how to do that. And, you know, we talk about suits and stuff. I was the one who showed him how to pick those things and ties and all that, showed him how to tie a tie and, you know, what young men should look like. I was also the one who was intentional about making sure that he had male teachers. I went to the principal to make sure that he had male teachers so he could be around men. So some of my friends all said, oh, well, you should receive the Father's Day card. Now, I never ever said to my kids, I should be getting a Father's Day card. And we've never actually talked about that because I always was in mother role. But as a mother, yes, I taught them everything because
but you also made
sure,
I mean, not to jump over you now, and I say this as my mother would say, you have no children. I have no children. But you said, wait a minute, I made sure that my son had men he could talk to, men he could model, because you can't do that for him.
Right. And I chose not to look like a guy. I mean, you know, some people, you know, but
not mad, but
I'm very comfortable with being the beautiful African American woman that I am.
Fabulous.
And you know, but I do say that some people have told me I should have been receiving a Father's Day card.
Who told you that?
Lots of women have said that.
Do they have husbands?
Some of them do have husbands. Yes.
But.
Okay. And I'm saying, just because we're talking about it, I'm just saying that they've said because of all the things I had to do with my kids, I had to play both roles. That you know,
I think you just.
I just did everything.
It's just like in chemistry, you know. Look, and carbon is carbon, right? It's not oxygen. It has a certain. There's certain properties, and if you add a neutron or a proton, it becomes another element. You're never going to be a man.
Correct. I don't want to be.
That's just not. I know, but you're not. You know, so what? You know, according to the dictionary, a father is a male parent.
Right.
What?
And the key thing about that is that if you want to go back to what your topic is about, is the history of Father's Day. It was never meant for anyone to have that honor but the father. And just because the father that bore your child does not act the father role doesn't mean that the mother should step into that particular role to accept that honor.
Can she? In your
she
estimation,
can step
as
in
a
the
man.
role in reference to doing some of the things that some of the father is supposed to have done, be responsible to taking care of their child, you know, as a mother. Or there's in some cases, like the gentleman here, who has his child. So therefore, we're going to take and share that particular holiday or that celebration because some of the other fathers decided not to be a father to those particular children. No, we don't want to continue to change the structure of the family structure or even honoring what a father's supposed to have been. So to my point is that one of the things is that we continue to commercialize a lot of the things that we're doing. I mean, Hallmark, I can remember doing research, and it stated that, you know, we're making $1 million on that Father's Day. Now, again, are we talking about making money, or we're talking about the significance of honoring our fathers?
Well, now that's very interesting, because Hallmark said when we established this campaign that we aimed at black mothers.
Right.
The cards flew off of the shelves.
Sure.
Now it's very interesting. Now you are married with children.
I'm
right?
married,
but
I have 2 children from my previous marriage.
Okay, now has it been tough to negotiate being
no,
a father?
Not at all, not at all,
Okay.
because I've always been involved in my children's lives from their birth up until now. They're 23 and 24 years old, 2 beautiful daughters, one with a child as well. So I've always been involved with my children. Likewise, who's given me the passion, I believe the Lord has given me the passion to teach and educate fathers. And that's what our organization does, is Friends of Fathers, to help fathers to do what Brandon has done, to be more involved with their children's in their children's lives. But again, no, hats off to the mothers who've been a single mom. My mom, matter of fact, I was raised by my mom, but again, my father was involved. Unfortunately, I had the weekend father vacation and the summertime vacation and things of that sort, but my father was very much involved with our family structure. But just because the father is not in the home doesn't mean that the father cannot be a father.
Well, it doesn't mean that he doesn't want to. Yeah, because, you know, as you know, I think many of us forget that while mothers are fathering. Wow, that was Freudian, I guess. Well, while mothers are favored by the court system now, they were not favored 100 years ago. It was fathers who were favored.
That's correct.
And so, you know, I mean, Dr. Miller, you are an OBGYN, so you get a chance to really, in the most intimate of you get a chance to have the most intimate conversations with women who are pregnant.
Yes.
And who are feeling this pressure.
Absolutely.
What are you seeing? Because you're seeing single mothers who are young, who are unwed, who are teens, but you're also seeing professional women too.
Yes, I am.
You know.
I see quite a range, and women are playing many roles. And I think that what we have to remember is, like, I buy cards for Mother's Day that are for like a mother. That isn't my mother, and it doesn't mean that I don't love my mother, and it doesn't mean that I don't have a wonderful relationship with my mother, but there may be another woman who's played a motherly role mentoring me or helping me through my life. And to me, just to get back to the Hallmark card issue, when you give a single mother a Father's Day card and you're the child, what you're really saying is that, Mom, I recognize that you have had to play two roles because the father was not in the home or the father was not a part of my life. So I appreciate that you taught me how to tie the tie, that you played football with me, that you took me to all the games, that you made the sacrifices, that you were there every day, all day, doing homework at night for the 103 temperature at 4 in the morning. It's just paying tribute to a person that you appreciate has helped you. So it's not really because the roles are blended. I mean, you know, we used to talk about women did this and men did this. I have women doing everything now in pregnancy, working in factories, running marathons, doing all kinds of things that we would have never thought pregnant women would be doing. But the roles are blurred. It's not the traditional you man, me woman, you wife, me husband, you mom, me dad. Everybody's having to do everything.
But you know, I guess,
and so why not pay tribute to the person who's helping you with everything?
But I think
so
you're
that's
bringing
how
out,
I see it.
No, I think you're bringing up a
So,
great point. But I think that black women in America have always had the opportunity to blend, because we never had the opportunity not to work.
Right.
For
We're
example,
always the superwoman.
Right.
I mean, to me,
we've
you know,
always had to do that. But to me, for deadbeat dad to be equated with black men is problematic for me.
Right.
Because a mother's not automatically a martyr either.
That's true.
So, you know,
I mean, there are some bad mothers.
No, I'm just saying that
there's some bad. You know, it's like anything.
It's you know, I think it's far more nuanced. Right. But I think to me, it's really slighting black men, because we have this young man. He's got a fascinating story, and I want you to share some of it with us, because you're 25, and you found out at 18 that. How did you find out you were a father?
I found out that I was a father through the mail. I found out that my son was born 2 or 3 months prior to me even getting a letter from child support enforcement saying that I had a little girl and that her name was Nivea, and you know, she was 8
Which
pounds.
means?
Nevea is actually his name, but they told me I had a girl. And then I called and come to find out I had a little boy. And you know, I felt really terrible because I already had abandonment issues because my father wasn't present in my life, and to know that I had a son that was out here and I couldn't see him or touch him or hold him was something that bothered me. So I did everything in my power to make sure that I had a relationship with my son. You know, I called every day, made sure she had what she needed. I made sure I paid my child support, and eventually I was very blessed to have him in my life, in my physical custody, and he's been with me ever since.
So did you have a strong urge to be the custodial parent? I mean, because to me, to work to get the child support, that's a lot, right?
I had a very strong urge because I know what I've experienced in my life and in my past, as far as having a stepfather and then having an absentee father. And I wanted to make sure that I could provide my son with the world. I wanted to show him what a man should be like, you know, to work and to, you know, love God and to have a relationship with God and to do anything it is that he would want to do in his life, and be there to actually see that transition and go through. And it is truly a blessing to be able to, you know, have that honor.
So how do you relate to your son's mother now? I mean, is that a challenging relationship?
Honestly, it is a very challenging relationship because I honestly believe that she's not necessarily, what's the word I'm looking for? She's not necessarily being proactive in making sure that his future is going in the way that it needs to be because of her own personal issues and maybe some things that she has experienced in her past that she has yet to deal with. And quite frankly, you know, we are progressively moving forward and working together now, you know, as far as parenting time and different things like that, so that way she can have a relationship with him.
So do you want a Mother's Day card?
I was just gonna say.
You know, I wouldn't say that I want to.
I was not being
I was looking for the
snarky.
answer.
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I want a Mother's Day card. No, I don't. But I have had a lot of people who know me and know how much I love and care about my son, and have seen the relationship that I have with my son, that have told me on Mother's Day, Happy Father's Day, and different things like that. And I mean, I guess I didn't. For me, it didn't bother me because, you know, in some ways, yeah, I do play both roles, but at the same time, I understand that I can only be, again, the best father that I can be.
But if your
Okay.
child chose to give you a Mother's Day card because he, as he ages, will recognize that you have played both roles, and he chose to honor you with a Mother's Day card, because there are also Mother's Day cards
Right.
that say for a father on Mother's Day, because you have played that role, wouldn't you be appreciative of that?
I would most
it's
definitely.
It's a compliment.
Yeah.
It is not an insult.
But
in
there's
my
Single
opinion.
Parents Day,
Right.
March 21st.
Yeah.
Let's do
Parents
that.
Day. What about Parents Day?
Let's parents, you know, me,
Right.
because, you know, let's have a Mother's Day. Let that be the Mother's Day. Let's have a Father's Day.
Let that
Then
be
let there be Parents Day. Because at some point, we've got to bring mothers and fathers together.
And you
'Cause it-
continue.
Right, but
You will
the
continue
honoring
to
piece,
separate them by identifying these particular holidays. And you're not, where's
I mean,
all
but
the
you
money?
don't
Where's
see-
all the money to actually encourage the father needing to be involved with that child's life versus putting money behind actually getting a separate holiday just to increase? It's not a benefit of anything. And I appreciate what the doctor says. What if my child comes and say,
Yes.
Dad, I would like to appreciate you on
Exactly.
Mother's Day.
Exactly.
And agree, because I combed the hair and planted the hair and all that
Exactly.
stuff. But again, the key thing here is this: what are we going to continue? When are we going to continue to make sure that we recognize those parents? We can recognize them, but to give another holiday to someone who is not that that figure what God has created them to be. She's not a male. He's not a female. So why should we recognize them on that man's day?
Well, I
But
don't
see, but
think
let
they're
me say
trying to
this.
be.
I
Okay.
do not believe that you shouldn't get a card
Exactly.
on Mother's Day.
Exactly.
That your parenting as a father should not be acknowledged. But the problem for me with this campaign that we are discussing is the slam on black fathers.
Yeah.
And I say that as someone who has a father who was an unexpected father,
Right.
who because of his own issues, because my father was born out of wedlock. He said, you know what? This is my child. I welcome her into the world, and I welcome the other children who came. And you know what? I've seen so many fathers, meeting you today, I've seen so many fathers. I am tired of hearing this narrative that black men do not care,
Sure.
that black men are absent, that black men need to step up. No one said that about Thomas Jefferson. We did not start the breaking up of our families. We
Right.
did not start
Right.
that. And I'm saying we can stop that, but that is a problem. No one is looking at the fact that, look at Columbine. These boys
Right.
walked around with both parents in the home. And everybody said for a year they were really strange. But no one calls out those parents.
That's right.
Because they were white and because they were well-to-do. And that's not being racist. That's being racializing, though. And I'm tired of us putting black men on Front Street on a human problem.
Right.
We are in a Great Depression. When you don't have money,
Right.
it's hard for a man to take you out on a date. If your husband loses his job, it will profoundly change your boyfriend. If that happens, it will profoundly change who he feels himself to be. And you know, I mean, and black women in America have always had more space. We were the teachers. He was the janitor. You know, we could go to the big house and negotiate with Massa.
Right.
I mean, I'm just putting it.
Sure, sure.
What our history, this should not. So, I mean, to me, I feel like we're falling for something.
But Santita, I want to say we still have to deal with reality, and there are
That is
many of
reality.
them. No, I'm just saying African American men. There are many of them who do not do what they're supposed to do, and I, you know,
Okay.
all of the education that I've had and the things that I've accomplished. My ex-husband did not do anything for my children, and so you know, I don't know. I do know he was working some of the time. I don't know if he wasn't working all the time because I'm in a different city from where he is. However, I do know that didn't have communication with them, did not seek out to communicate with them and did not pay
no
the child
attention
support.
to the phone in the background.
Okay,
It's okay. We
did
keep
not
it
pay the
going.
child support, and I was just telling Brother Farley, but in the back, you know, what the arrears are, and it's almost $100,000.
Right.
So, you know, when you talk about that, I don't want us to try to say, you know, that we're attacking them unjustly. There are ones who have not done a thing.
And you know what? And we should deal with that, but we should not institutionalize it.
Yes.
So that it becomes that whenever you see a black man, you
We're gonna
see
steer-
irresponsibility.
That's correct. And
Right.
that's
I agree
exactly-
with that, but I
Yeah,
do think
agree.
you have to individualize, and you have to look at this family by family.
Yes.
And Father's Day and Mother's Day, to me, those days are special days. They're very special, and they're about paying tribute to the people who have helped you, who have parented you. It doesn't mean it's your birth mother. It doesn't mean it's your birth father. Like he said, it may be your stepfather. It may be your brother that's older than you. It may be an uncle. It may be a teacher. It may be a football coach. It could be a host of different men
I agree with that.
you might give a card to that says, "Thank you for fathering me." And if that person who fathered you happens to be a female, I don't have a problem with that.
But to
I'm
change
just- I
the
don't have a
gender
problem with
of what
that.
Father's Day is, I mean, you're just going along with something that really is against the structure and the family structure, what God has created.
As a father, what is Father's Day to you?
Father's Day is basically a day and opportunity for them to just specialize dad. Here, thank you, Dad, for doing something
What
for
is
me.
a father? Not me, because as
fa-
I can tell you as a woman what my daddy is to me. But as a man,
a
I
father
want
is-
you all to tell us what a father
Father
does.
is protector, provider, a person that's going to prevent anything from happening to their children, to be involved with them, teaching them, loving them, giving affection to them, showing them exactly what a man should be doing to them, and how they can build a relationship with them. So they have to be involved. It's not just basically, I'm going to basically show you how to throw a football, but I might show you how to put on a dress, or actually when that time comes on what I'm looking for in a woman, how you're supposed to be treated as a woman as well. Not just open up a doggone door, which is something that's similar to be taught to be said all the time, but something in reference to, I'm interested in not just your age, well, I'll say it the way my teacher said it a long time ago, but your beauty, your brain, your beauty, and the rest of your other stuff.
That's
okay?
right.
But you in that order: your brain, your beauty, and the rest of the
And the
other
R.
things.
Kelly reference.
I love that reference.
There you
okay.
go.
But again, it's so important that fathers are involved. Now, I can tell you something else in reference to what I go through on a daily basis from listening to many of the fathers that are calling, who are crying out to be involved with their children's lives because the mother has ostracized them because they have the front of the court policy on their side. Now, again, it's nothing that is against the fathers, but the fathers are afraid of actually going through the process to identify what they need to do to establish themselves
What do you
as
mean
a
by
parent.
that?
What I mean by that is this. When majority, like you said, 1 out of every 3 child has an absent father. Many of those fathers are part of the front of the court structure. So therefore, there's a child support order that says that that father does not have any legal rights over that child, doesn't have a legal say in reference to school, education, education as well as health or religion or creed. So therefore, the fathers need to step up so that they can have a say. But they're afraid of the front of the court because of a cost, because they have to
They cannot afford to pay anymore.
Well, they say they cannot afford to pay for it. In many cases that they can't. But they have to petition the court to address the issue based on what they can make, what they can pay. But they're afraid of it because they might go to jail, or they may not get a word in edgewise when they talk to the judge. But there is a thing that they can do in reference to motioning the court, so they can fill out that information. This is something that you do at home. How do I want to be involved with that child's life? What is my parenting time? Not just the weekend, the summertime, but how do I be involved with picking them up from school? So therefore, the bullies are not bothering them because they know they got a daddy in their life. Or how do they can actually sit down and talk to them about basically educating their children as well. And yeah, there are some situations when there are divorce and separation, but there's a responsibility of that father and the mother to find out what is that commonality that we need to put together as a plan to raise our children.
I think
Okay,
that Bishop Abrams
yes.
is about
and
to jump.
it's
I feel so
amazing
bad.
because I felt like he took a jab at me, really. And
I did
you know,
not.
he said it's
I
more
don't
than
think
just
he took a jab at
he
you.
said it's more than just throwing the football. Because that's an example that I gave. So let me say, using his own definition, I've done all of that. Okay, except for I wasn't the male who did that. When you talk about protecting, you know, guiding your kids and all that, I've done all of that.
Yes.
And then also, you know, I think that it's not saying you're trying to be a man. And so when you talk about Father's Day, I think, as Dr. said here, it is about honoring the person who has done this or played this role to a certain degree in your life.
You all are
and
misunderstanding
so,
here.
you know, I'm just saying.
Okay, no,
if you're using
well,
his
let's
own
clear up the
definition,
misunderstanding.
The
using
problem
his
that
own
I have, the
definition,
problem
I've
that
done
I have with what Joe is saying is that, you know, you have to keep in mind that I see about 30 women a day as a gynecologist. The overwhelming majority of those women would love the man to be involved in their single child's life.
Yeah.
They would love it. They would love you to pick them up. They would love you to drop them off. They would love you to be involved. They would welcome it. But that interest is not there.
For the father?
For the father.
Right.
And to be honest with you, they would just cheer because that would mean they had a break.
No,
they could go
that's
out.
absolutely
They
correct.
could get away.
I get those same
They're
calls
the
from some of those women as
24/7
well.
Parent. They don't. They have to work. They have to support. They don't get a break. They can't go out. They
That's
can't
right.
get away. You couldn't even take a bath. One of my
Can't even
patients
come
said,
to the doctor
because
to see
the
you.
child
Exactly.
is in the bathroom with them. They don't have a break.
But is
And
that,
so,
but doctor, let me ask you this. Is that and I'm not an apologist for men. I'm
Right.
not. But I'm wondering if this is not if this is not our wiring. I don't know, because my mother has always said, you know, look, this baby is for you. I don't have any children, everybody. It's not. She said, but you want men to do something that they don't do. It's not that they don't love their children, but they're not going to sit. Then she said, I carried you. Your father didn't carry you. He planted you in me.
True.
But that was it. She said, if you want a lot of these things that you all want, and now mind you, my mother's almost 70 and she'll tell you that. But she's saying, wait a minute, y'all want something that is
but the
unrealistic.
times, unfortunately, are so busy now that women are working a full schedule.
And you need that father
and you
involved.
need
Yes.
help.
You do.
Whether it's a babysitter,
I
you
need them involved, but
you need help, because you can't run 3 boys to soccer, football,
That's right.
lacrosse, golf, swimming, tennis,
Right.
and do homework, and cook the meal, and wash the clothes.
Am I
and
hearing Dr. Miller's story?
You can't do that. you just physically, as one person,
Right.
can't achieve
Yeah.
it all.
And she's
It's
absolutely
too
right.
much.
And
You
those are some of the things that some of the fathers, and I'm sorry to point to Brandon again, but I'm glad he's here, but he wanted to be involved with that.
That's
But there's
great.
some
That's
mothers,
wonderful.
there's some mothers who wants to continue to ostracize him from there because they're not getting money. And you're right. Now here we are talking about we're going to make Father's Day a gift where they can honor the mother, okay? And yet and still, there's so many mothers out there who pushes that father from that
I
structure.
got to bring this in and wish
But
everybody a happy
he should
Father's
get a
Day.
Mother's Day
I love
card.
you.
I would say that. Let me-
Yes.
Well, you know what? Happy Father's Day to every
Happy
father
Father's Day.
out
Happy
here.
Father's Day,
And you
Bishop.
know what? And I pay tribute to all of the parents. I pay tribute to mine. God bless you. Happy Father's Day.
Thanks for watching this edition of the Santita Jackson Show.